Let's take a trip back to the 1980s. It was a decade of bold fashion. It's big hair and even bigger promises from car makers. Pontiac, the brand that famously told us we build excitement, was at the heart of it, giving us performance icons like the Firebird Trans Am and the GTO. But for every fire-breathing V8 they unleashed, there was also this. This is the 1987 Pontiac T-1000. And despite sharing a name with one of cinema's most terrifying villains, this car couldn't chase down a parked bicycle. It wasn't exciting. It wasn't powerful. It was, in essence, a Chevrolet Chevette wearing a Pontiac badge. It was GM's attempt to offer a sensible, no-nonsense commuter car with just a whisper of that Pontiac attitude. Asterisk. Most of these have long since returned to the earth as iron oxide or been crushed into cubes. Yet somehow, this one survived. Just 68,000 miles on the clock, it has emerged on Bring a Trailer like a glitch in the automotive matrix, a time capsule from an era of humble motoring. Asterisk today. We're going to dive deep into the story of the Pontiac T-1000. Is it a forgotten gem? A punchline on wheels? Or is it a crucial piece of automotive history that deserves our respect? Let's find out. So what exactly is a Pontiac T-1000? To understand this car, you have to understand the time it came from. The American auto industry was still reeling from the oil crises of the 1970s. Fuel economy was king, and practicality reigned supreme. This gave rise to what's lovingly, or not so lovingly, known as the malaise era of automobiles. Big, powerful engines were out. Small, efficient, and often painfully slow engines were in. Asterisk General Motors' answer to this new world was the T-body platform, a global platform that gave us the Chevrolet Chevette in North America. The Chevette was as basic as transportation. It was a small, rear-wheel drive, subcompact, designed to be cheap to build, cheap to buy, and cheap to run. And it sold like crazy. Asterisk Pontiac, wanting a piece of that economy car pie, got its own version. They slapped a new grille on the front, changed the taillights, and called it the T-1000. The tagline was, "We build excitement." But let's be honest, the marketing team must have had their work cut out for them with this one. Asterisk. Let's talk about performance, or perhaps the lack thereof. Under the hood of this particular time traveler is a 1.6-liter four-cylinder engine. It produces a mighty, earth-shattering 65 horsepower. That power is sent through a 3-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60? Eventually, maybe, if you're going downhill with a tailwind. Asterisk, and that brings us to the name. T-1000. In 1991, 4 years after this car was built, Terminator 2, Judgment Day hit theaters. And the T-1000 became a relentless, shape-shifting liquid metal killing machine. The irony is just too good. The movie T-1000 could run fast enough to catch up to a police car. This Pontiac T-1000 would be outpaced by a brisk jog. You have to wonder if James Cameron had a little chuckle about that. This car doesn't get tired. It doesn't sleep. It'll never stop until it reaches the next red light, where it will. Take a moment to catch its breath. Asterisk, but let's not just mock its speed. What this car lacks in performance, it makes up for, in its incredible state of preservation. Surviving over 3 decades is an achievement for any car, but for an economy car like this, it's a miracle, I suppose. These were disposable appliances, used and abused until they were worthless. Asterisk, and for its class. This one is surprisingly well-equipped. Step inside, and you're transported back to 1987. You have these wonderfully plush, cloth-trimmed seats. You have power steering, which was not a given. It's an AM/FM radio for your cassette tapes. And look at this factory air conditioning. In an 80s economy car, that was serious luxury. Asterisk, of course, it's not a perfect museum piece. The add-on Bring-A Trailer notes some collision damage from 3 decades ago and mentions the transmission is a bit slow to engage reverse. That's part of its charm. It's a real car with a real history. It has lived a life, and it wears its minor scars with pride. It's a throwback to a time before infotainment screens, before a dozen airbags, before cars became computers on wheels. It's honest asterisk. So what would it be like to actually drive this T-1000 today? In a city, it would probably be fine, small. Size makes it easy to park, and at low speeds, the 65 horses are adequate. But take it on a modern highway, and you'd be in for an adventure. Merging into traffic moving at 70 miles per hour would require careful planning. A long runway, and perhaps a prayer. Asterisk, you're not cocooned from the outside world like you are in a modern car. You hear the engine working hard. You feel the road. You are an active participant in the act of driving. For some, that's a terrifying thought. For others, it's a refreshing change of pace. It's a reminder that driving used to be a more mechanical, more engaging experience. Asterisk, these cars represent a massive slice of automotive history that often gets ignored. While we drool over pristine muscle cars and exotic European sports cars, millions of people in the 80s and 90s were driving these humble workhorses. They were the cars that took kids to school, that got people to their first jobs, that were the backdrop to everyday life. So, who is the right buyer for a car like this 1987 Pontiac T-1000? It's not for the speed demon or the person looking for a status symbol. It's for a different kind of enthusiast. Maybe it's for the collector who appreciates survivor cars original, unrestored vehicles that tell a story. Or perhaps it's for someone who wants a simple, reliable classic that's easy to work on and won't break the bank. Could take this to a Radwood car show and get more attention than a brand new Porsche. Asterisk. It even has a potential career on the silver screen. Any filmmaker setting a movie in the late 80s or early 90s needs background cars. And nothing screams period-correct commuter quite like this. Couple of gigs, and it'll pay for itself. Asterisk, in the end, the Pontiac T-1000 isn't just a rebadged Chevette. It's a symbol of an era. It's a testament to the fact that automotive history isn't just about the fastest or the most beautiful cars. It's also about the everyday heroes, the humble machines that quietly shaped our roads, our lives. The T-1000 may not be exciting, it may not be fast, but it is a survivor. And in the classic car world, that's an achievement worth celebrating. Asterisk. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into a truly unique and often overlooked classic, do us a favor and hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed and ring that notification bell so you don't miss more stories about quirky and rare cars like this one. Asterisk. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Would you ever consider owning a Pontiac T-1000? Or is there another budget classic from your past that you absolutely swear by? Let's chat about it. Asterisk. Until next time, keep your engines running and your eyes on the road.